People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. Bob Burg said that. I agree with him. You're still getting it wrong. For years, I've worked with salespeople. I've worked with teams. I've worked with people who believe that you gotta get out there, you gotta get in front of people, you gotta do nice things for them because it's all about relationships. And so what happens when people take this adage, this tried and true proven adage, and screw up where it came from? What happens? Well, you get a lot of salespeople who try to get in front of their prospects by buying them stuff. You get a lot of salespeople who try to make friends with their prospects so that hopefully they can turn around and do business with those prospects and turn them into lifelong customers. Have you ever thought for a minute about what it's like to do business with your friends? It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and someone ends up getting the short end of the stick at some point. So you got to remember, and you got to keep this in mind at all times, your prospects are not looking for new friends. They're looking for someone who can make an impact on their business. They're looking for someone who can provide results and outcomes that no one else can. And those don't have anything to do with your expense account, your free lunch, or your round of golf. You've heard me talk about this before. So I want you to think for a minute about what you're actually trying to do when you want to make someone like you. You end up doing a whole bunch of things that aren't related at all to the business outcomes you can provide for them. Tell me if this is you. You've had those conversations with a prospect. Maybe it's a first meeting and you go to the office and they're happy to see you, or they get you on a phone call or a Zoom call or something, and you do nothing but build rapport. And you say, Jeff, that was a great conversation. I talked to him for half an hour. We didn't even talk business. I'm slapping my forehead because you had a half an hour conversation with your prospect and didn't talk about business. My next assumption is that you probably didn't get a second meeting because you didn't justify the first one. Sound familiar? Think about what you're doing. So what do you do? What do you need to do to get around this? Well, you need to remember, like I said, that your prospects are not looking for new friends. They're looking for people who can solve their problems, who can help them take the next step to accomplish that next level that they're looking for. You need to remember that if you cannot differentiate, you cannot sell. So you can't be like everybody else who's just offering free food or a nice time or just wants to get to know them. You need to start with what matters, and those are the results that only you, can provide for them and create for them because of the way only you, create results like that for people and businesses like them. Are we clear? The next thing that you need to do in your prospecting efforts with your own mindset is recognize that there should be no question at all that your value, the value you provide, is going to be worth their time. When you start speaking in terms of the outcomes that you create for people rather than the solution that most people pitch, you will stand out in their mind. It'll help you differentiate. It'll also get them thinking about you in terms that are different than anybody else. It'll start getting them to think about what they are missing out on right now or what they could be achieving if maybe they paid a little bit more attention to you. Prospecting is not about winning someone over and buying them gifts and being really nice to them, so nice that they won't feel anything other than compelled to give you a conversation or spend some time with you. Your prospect's time is the most valuable inventory they will ever have. It is the only finite, non-renewable resource on the planet. And if you waste any of it, right, your prospects will not allow you to waste their time twice. So if your intention is to just be so likable that they can't help but say yes to you, you're barking up the wrong tree. What you are doing is not selling. And think about this again. I want to leave you with this. If you are trying to make friends with someone so ultimately you can do business with them, you're not a very good friend, are you? Think about that. I hope I've maybe ruffled your feathers just a little bit. I want you to return to your differentiation. I want you to turn to your messaging. I want you to return to what it is that you create for people that nobody else in your space does. And I want you to think about why your prospect would want to spend their time with you rather than why you want to spend your time with them. You start thinking like that, you're going to be off on the right track.